We're in a layover in Denver, and I'm so excited. We're on our way to Yellowstone National Park to try and photograph some bisons, get some snow. So different from what we usually do, and I can't wait. Hi guys, this is Janine from Pangolin Photo Safaris, and today I'm in a completely different environment than normally. I'm in Yellowstone National Park, and I think this is so iconic with the steam rising from the hot waters and the white trees in winter. We're here to obviously try and find some wildlife, some bisons with the frosty beard, the breath coming out of their noses, maybe some foxes, maybe even some wolves. We're really excited for that, but especially for the landscapes. So stay tuned to see whether Yellowstone National Park is still one of the photographer's dreams, especially in wintertime. Before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe right here to join our beautiful community of nature enthusiasts and photographers. To get to Yellowstone National Park in winter, we have a few options. You can either fly into Idaho Falls, Jackson Hole, or Bozeman. However, we were told that Idaho Falls is the least likely to cancel flights due to snowy and unforeseen weather. From there, we took a nice 1.5-hour road trip into Montana to reach West Yellowstone. West Yellowstone is a romantic winter town of just over 1,000 residents. However, it is the most visited gateway into Yellowstone National Park, as the Western Park Gate has the closest access to the famous Geyser Basin. Our good friend and industry colleague Christopher Balmer happens to have a camera store in West Yellowstone, not even 1 kilometer away from the park gate. Not just can he help you rent gear and do last-minute purchases, but as he grew up in the region, he's well connected and will show us his home. Loads of homey restaurants and bars allow you to enjoy the sleepy winter town before and after the park opens. As your guide is usually restricted to about 8-9 hours a day, you will find time around your excursions. Hey, we're here in the Yellowstone National Park Geyser Basin in the winter, checking out what photo opportunities there are. It looks a little bit like Jurassic Park, and I can't wait to show you guys. There's over 10,000 thermal features in Yellowstone National Park, of which over 1,000 of them are geysers. Some of them are being very acidic, like battery acid. However, the steam that rises from them is so iconic and particularly well visible in wintertime when it settles down on the trees and freezes them into the most beautiful winter wonderland. perfect place. Silhouettes would work out fantastic between the geysers that blow up all the steam. We're looking for bisons in particular. That would be such a cool shape. However, it is quite warm at the moment, or so they say. Not for me though, but the bisons can currently find food everywhere in the park and do not have to gather at the hot pools yet. We will keep on looking though. Tomorrow it's supposed to snow. Look at that steam coming off the river. It's so beautiful. But I should have brought my big stopper to tone it down a bit for a slow-mo picture. I'm mostly shooting with my 400mm lens with my extender on, which provides me a total of 560mm for the wildlife pictures. But I have found that most animals really just go about their own business and end up much too close sometimes. For the landscapes, I was excited to use my 24-70 f2.8. However, I shouldn't have been too preoccupied to forget my tripod, as it could really come in handy with the slower shots. Fortunately, it is something I was able to rent from Christopher alongside a great telescope for those sightings that were out of range for my camera. The easiest way for photographers to get through Yellowstone National Park in winter is on a so-called snow coach, a comfortable bus with either oversized tires or possibly skis attached to the undercarriage depending on the weather. We had unusually little snow for this time of the year, so tires were sufficient. Given that self-driving is not allowed in winter time, a well-trained naturalist guide will take you into the park, and while the coach offers up to 13 seats, we wouldn't suggest placing more than 5 guests and a photographer in each coach to provide plenty of space for your winter and photography gear. Alternatively, one can choose to go on a fun and action-packed day on a snowmobile into the Yellowstone Park. However, despite heated handles, those days can get very cold and don't allow you to take much photography gear with. I was most astonished that hiking, snowshoeing, as well as cross-country skiing is all allowed within the park parameters, even in winter. However, I would not suggest doing it without guidance. You might wonder how fit you need to be to explore Yellowstone in winter. While the snow coaches are very comfortable and end up protecting you from the harsh weather conditions, you must be ready to endure up to minus 25 degrees Celsius outside. We were lucky and blessed with what we were told balmy weather of only -4 to -8 degrees Celsius. Let me know in the comment section below if that is something you would love to experience. Most of the park's attractions have wooden walkways that guide you safely through the geysers and hot pools. However, even those can freeze over and you must be comfortable to walk a few hundred meters through ice and snow to set up your shot while carrying your gear. We found our first herd of bison. We want to get them with this really frosty beard. It's beautiful to see them out here. After the first encounter, I was in awe. Being on foot with these massive animals made me feel small and humble, and is truly different from what we usually do in Africa. On safari, we try to minimize showing a human silhouette, and being out there on foot is often not allowed. In Yellowstone, it was very different. Park rules state to keep a distance of only 23 meters away from the animals, unless it is a brown bear or a wolf, when one needs to keep a distance of 91 meters. This means you often have the opportunity to shoot nice and low from the ground, as long as you manage to get out of the coach in time for your shot. We have reached the Yellowstone River. beautiful down here, and we're looking for otter tracks to see if we find some of the little guys.
While we didn't find any otter tracks, there is a multitude of animals we're looking for while visiting Yellowstone in winter. Our biggest priority was finding bison with snow-covered faces. We knew we couldn't expect any bears as they hibernate during this season, but we were also looking for foxes, coyotes, a variety of deer, moose, and I was really hoping to catch a white-coated hermit during our stay. Furthermore, we were told that we can stumble over pine martens as well as their prey, the tree squirrels, and of course a huge number of beautiful birds such as geese, swans, ducks, bald eagles, woodpeckers, and more. However, stick around to the end to see what was our biggest highlight. Obviously, one cannot come to Yellowstone without visiting arguably the most famous geyser on this planet, Old Faithful, the largest geyser known that erupts with a certain predictability, therefore entertaining many visitors. While it is probably the most crowded place in Yellowstone, even in winter, one can easily reach it without encountering thousands of visitors as you would find here in the summer month. While waiting for the eruption, one can warm up in a nice curio shop with some Class A toilets, which are considered both heated as well as flushing toilets, of which there's only far and few around the park. Afterwards, the oldest log structure in the world, the Old Faithful Inn, built in 1903, provides a cozy place for a warm, lovely lunch. On the other days, a packed lunch will bring us through the day until we get back home. A cozy and rustic hotel in West Yellowstone can serve as a great base for any excursion in Yellowstone National Park. A hearty breakfast and dinner will get everyone set for a full day in the snow. But if you really want to explore the area a little further and heighten your chances of seeing things like elk and bighorn sheep, one should probably also spend a few days in Grand Teton National Park, if not only for its amazing landscape of photographing the Teton mountain range itself. To reduce driving time, it is best to relocate for a day or two. And while Jackson Hole is probably the closest, it can be very expensive. And we know of a few adjacent towns that give you the same access with better value for money.
We found a herd of buffalo down in the valley. It's quite a distance, but it's lovely to watch them plow the snow with their noses to get to the grass.
And then something happened that we had never expected, as it is considered a really rare sighting in that specific part of Yellowstone.
Well, it's a good day when this happens.
Well, isn't that the truth?
We're filming a pack of about 13 wolves across the river. They're super playful. We think they might even be on a buffalo carcass. They're coming closer and closer to the riverside. If we're lucky, they might even swim through. It is so exciting.
After 2 full days in the park, we concluded with one of the most spectacular views of Yellowstone.
We're at the Yellowstone Falls, one of the most iconic landmarks of the Yellowstone National Park, the lower falls on the Yellowstone River, which is the longest undammed river in the United States. It's iconic for its yellow walls, but it started snowing again and the temperatures are actually dropping. So I'm gonna have to really try harder to up my contrast in this picture so the white water of the falls lifts off the white snow on the walls. If you listen carefully, you can hear it right over my shoulder.
After 2 full days in the park and having the honor of exploring the surrounding areas with Christopher Ballmer and his wife, we know one thing for sure. We love seeing the contrast and variety in nature's beauty on this planet. This trip was so vastly different from what we know, but its beauty remained unparalleled. We know we would love to share this experience with you guys and hope you might join us throughout our colder expeditions as well. Stay tuned on this channel to see what else might come up soon that falls under that category. All the best. Bye bye.